What's up, guys? It is Corey from Super Kami Guru 9000, and welcome to my review of Attack on Titan, Episodes 6, 7, and 8. So this series is just damn near perfection at this point. I just got done watching 6, 7, 8 all consecutively, and I really wish I could just watch the entire series as a whole, because whenever an episode ends, you just want to keep watching, and it's just going to be one of those series that I know I'm going to love. So in the last episode, our main character, Eren, was essentially just killed by a Titan, and he was eaten right in front of Armin, and it was a really freaky scene, and we all want to know how Mikasa is going to react to all of this, and we still don't even know that much about Mikasa, and that's where this episode comes into play. This is all about her, learning about her backstory and how she came to actually know all these people. So Mikasa's backstory is pretty dark. Essentially, it takes place a few years earlier. We get to see that Eren is still with his father, and they're getting ready to go visit Mikasa. And at this time, we get to see Mikasa, her mother, and her father. And what's interesting is we get to learn that she's actually of an Oriental heritage from her mother's side of the family. And this is going to play an important part in her parents' demise, because apparently these two guys come up to their house, and they're trying to find her mother because she's of pure blood of the heritage, and they basically want to sell her on the black market. The problem is they start busting the door in, and everything gets completely fucked over. And they end up killing not only Mikasa's mother, but also her father as well. And this is a really interesting moment because Mikasa's, at this point in the story, really timid and not the type of person we see her as she is now. And this is sort of the turning point for her. This is the part where she explains she basically stopped being afraid, she learned to calm down, and then she just proceeds to slaughter these guys. And it's really messed up. And it's creepy, but at the same time, you kind of root for her because she really is standing up for herself. It's kind of a conflicting scene. And then eventually Eren and his father, they find Mikasa, and that's when they decide that she's going to become a part of their family now. And it's really emotional, and it's great because you actually don't get to see Mikasa give that much emotion. And whenever she does evoke emotion, it usually is because Eren is involved. We get away from the flashbacks and we go back to the present, where pretty much everybody is continuing to freak out and run away from the Titans. And most of this episode is essentially everyone just defending themselves, but the biggest part of this one really comes at the end when Mikasa is essentially about to be killed, and there's this Titan that's getting ready to walk up and kill her, and then all of a sudden this other Titan just comes up, which looks a little different than the other ones, and just punches the fuck out of this one and knocks it out, and it doesn't seem to have any aggression towards humans, only against Titans and everything. And this is where the best part of Episode 8 really comes into play, which is the one I just got done watching. And essentially, they're going to try and use this Titan to their advantage, because it's not going to hurt humans, and it only wants to hurt Titans. So Armin's plan is that they're going to try and lead this thing like to the middle of the city, so that they can take out like all the other Titans, and they won't even have to worry. This way they can also re-up on their gear, and they can get ready for even more ensuing battles. This episode is really great for the side characters, because they pretty much all get to do just about something interesting or say something really cool. And we get a lot of big names here. You know, you got Annie, you got Reiner there, and you got Armin, you got Mikasa, and a ton of other new people. You got John or Gene, however you pronounce his name. But they're all there, and they all have some really important things to do. The important thing with Gene, or John, I don't know what name I'm going to call him at this point. Really, what's cool about this is he's starting to basically stop being a pussy, and he's starting to, you know, get his shit together and, like, fight the Titans and everything. And that's great because it's also, like, making everybody a lot less, like, freaked out, and it's actually bolstering them a little bit, and that's great. Now, Armin, he's not really a fighter at all. That's just not his thing. But in this episode, we do figure out maybe he has another strength, which is being a tactician, coming up with really good plans. He came up with a plan to lure the other Titan, and then they had this other plan where they were going to have to get some brand new gear, and they were going to have to go into this Titan-infested area. And essentially what he does is he, like, lowers them into this place, and they're going to, like, shoot at these Titans to blind them, and the people from the shadows are going to come down, and they're going to cut them from behind the neck. And that's where this action scene ensues that's both really thrilling and creepy at the same exact time, especially when the Titans notice them for the very first time, the way they slowly start to walk up to them, and how tense the situation is when they're just standing there, and they're not even firing yet. They're keeping their cool the entire time, and when they have to do it, it works. It's really awesome. Although there is a scene where Sasha Blouse actually doesn't kill the Titan immediately, and she starts to, like, beg for her life in front of it. And it's really funny, because even in the most dire, straight situations, like, she is just, like, goofy as hell. Alright, let's get the elephant out of the room. What is that big fucking Titan that's just, like, annihilating all the other ones? Well, we get to find out at the end of the episode. we get to see that a lot of the other Titans are actually starting to eat him, and there are parts of his body that are missing, and then all of a sudden that other like Titan appears, and it starts pissing him off, and then he just goes into like this berserker mode. He doesn't even have any arms or anything, so he literally like grabs this one Titan by the neck and like just throws it into a building, and then just continues to decimate all these other Titans, despite the fact that it doesn't even have any arms, and then it's got just like this giant wound on its chest. And then eventually it succumbs and it falls over. And this is where the big twist comes into play. We get to see that it slowly starts to disintegrate, and a small part of its neck opens up, and we get to see sitting right there is actually Eren. And not only is he alive, but he has both of his limbs again. His leg, his arm, he's fine. And this is insane. I don't really know what to make of this quite yet. I guess he has the ability to turn into a Titan, or possibly harness a Titan's body, or I don't know. I really don't know what's going on here yet. What's great about this scene, though, is right after Mikasa notices it. And like I said, Mikasa doesn't show a lot of emotion, but she shows the most I think she's ever shown in the entire series right here. And it's really great. Eren's back. He's alive. We don't really know why, but I'm sure it's going to open up a huge can of worms. And it just makes me think, if Eren was this Titan, is there a possibility that some of these other people, or some of those even bigger Titans, could have been other characters too? We're just going to have to watch and find out. All I know is this anime series is really, really good. It's got pretty much everything you could want. The animation is pretty damn good most of the time. Whenever there's like a big action scene that involves the Titans, it's really, really great. And now that we have Eren as a big Titan, it's really great because they can utilize the size of the characters in really interesting ways. I really liked the scene where Jean was watching those two Titans getting ready to eat him. And then there was that really big slow-mo punch that was coming from Eren that was really, really awesome. And just getting to see him go berserker mode, like kind of at the end, it definitely evokes a lot of memories of Evangelion, just the way it like roars and everything. It reminds me. Maybe it's just because it's a giant humanoid figure and it's just literally beating the crap out of things and just ripping them to pieces. All I know is everything here is great. Every single character is interesting. They all have very distinct personalities, and you want to learn more about them. And you know, it's funny because there are characters in the series that started out, I'm like, God, I fucking hate that guy. And then you start to learn that, well, no, he's actually a pretty complex, interesting character. I mean, Sasha's still a goofy ass, but I really like her that way. And I still want to learn more about that one Annie chick. She seems like a badass. She seems like almost just as cool as Mikasa is. And the whole thing with Eren, that's definitely the biggest thing. Just, wow. That really caught me off guard. I didn't expect that. You know, maybe I should have, though, because, you know, the intro and the outro of the show, you know, you see him a lot in the intro, and they pretty much focus on him. But, you know, I mean, he got fucking swallowed by a Titan and had his arm and leg bitten off. So, I mean, can you blame me? That seems pretty solid for a death. But there's going to be probably some big crazy explanation for why he's a Titan or why he can use Titan abilities. I don't know. All I know is the series is great. It's got me thinking. It's pumping me up. It's affecting me emotionally. It's got everything that I love from an anime. Oh, and the soundtrack is fucking great, too. I just gotta mention that. There's a lot of scenes where the soundtrack is really handled well, and it adds a lot of great character and atmosphere to the series, and I really, really love when an anime does that, because it just makes it way more distinct. God, I am so happy Funimation has decided to license this series, because holy fuck, I want to add it to these shelves, because it is such a fun show. It's really crazy. It's not for everybody, but I think if you're just a big fan of anime, you need to check this one out because it's something different, it's something awesome. And I have not read the manga. I don't plan on reading the manga anytime soon. I want to watch the anime first and see how it goes, and maybe then I'll delve into the manga. I'm just enjoying this right now. I can't wait to see more. So if you guys have seen these episodes, I'd love to know what you thought about them. You can let me know with your comments below. And you guys know the drill. Hit the like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It's one of the best ways to support Super Kami Guru 9000. And be on the lookout because now that I've finished up with these reviews, I'm going to have the most recent episode, episode 9, up either hopefully today or possibly tomorrow. And I'm going to be completely caught up, and I've decided I'm going to review each of these as it comes for you guys, for me, because it's fun, it's awesome, and it gives me a great excuse just to talk about this show because it's awesome. So there it is. That's the end of the review. Give it a thumbs up. We'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out. Hey, do you want to watch a cool video about giants eating people? Maybe check out this video. Maybe when you're done watching that one, you can watch this one. They're both pretty good. Give it a thumbs up!